Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. The fluorescent lights in the staff locker room of Metropolitan Hospital cast a cold, clinical glow, carving sharp lines across Dr. Corey Keith's face as he buttoned up his white coat. His hands, steady, skilled, and weathered by years of trauma work, moved with practiced precision through the familiar routine. 6:45 p.m. His watch ticked toward the start of another night shift. A multi-car pileup on the interstate. 6 patients critical, ETA 10 minutes. "Dr. Keith!" someone called out as they rushed past the locker room. "Dr. Sarakan's out. You're up." Corey nodded, his thoughts snapping into focus. No hesitation, no wasted energy. That unwavering calm under pressure was what made him one of the most respected emergency surgeons in the state. At 45, the streaks of gray in his hair and the creases framing his eyes told the story of long nights and hard-earned experience. Lives saved, lives lost, all under the unrelenting glare of hospital lights. He reached for his backup phone, habit, instinct, but his pockets came up empty. Damn, it was still at home, left charging in the basement. With no time to spare, Corey made the drive back. His colonial-style house sat quiet in the soft hues of a cooling autumn evening, its windows glowing warmly in the dusk. Familiar, steady. Abigail's red SUV was in the driveway, and the light in Lucas's room flickered as his teenage son gamed upstairs. 20 years of marriage had attuned him to these rhythms. Dinner would be underway, Lucas lost in a game. Just another evening in the Keith household. Or so he believed. Descending into the basement, the air chilled and scented faintly of laundry detergent and the remnants of Abigail's fitness sessions. Corey reached for the phone on the charger, then froze. From behind the slightly ajar door of Lucas's gaming room, his son's voice floated out. "Dude, you won't believe what went down last night." The casual excitement in Lucas's tone stopped Corey cold. Something in it didn't sit right. The whole football team, man. The entire fucking team. Mom had them over. You should have seen how fast they scattered when I came home early from practice. The backup phone slipped from Corey's hand, clattering to the concrete floor. He barely heard it. "Coach Guerra? Oh man, he practically lives here now." Lucas's voice oozed sarcasm. "Mom's got it all figured out. Private training sessions in the basement? Genius. Dad thinks she's just helping my football career while he's off playing hero at the hospital." Each word landed like a blow. Corey stood frozen, heart thudding dully in his chest. Years of emergency training kept his breathing even, his face calm, even as something inside him cracked. "You know what's really pathetic?" Lucas added. "He's too caught up saving strangers to notice his own wife's turning our house into a damn circus." Laughter erupted through Lucas's headset. His friends, clearly entertained. "Yo, Luke, isn't your dad gonna figure it out?" "Please," Lucas scoffed. "He's clueless, too wrapped up in his patients to see the wreck at home." The walls seemed to close in, the air thick with betrayal. Corey's phone buzzed. It was the hospital. The victims from the pileup were arriving. People needed him. People who depended on his steady hands and calm judgment. He picked up the phone. Emotion could wait. Action couldn't. As he climbed the stairs, Abigail's voice drifted in from the kitchen. "Lucas, dinner's ready, honey." "Coming, Mom," Lucas called back, his voice now soft and sweet. Corey stepped out the front door without a word, slipping back into the night. No confrontation. Not yet. First, he needed answers. He needed the truth. By sunrise, he was parked outside Mel's diner, 15 miles away. The gravel crunched beneath his tires, the sky still tinged with night. Inside, the coffee was hot and the waitresses asked no questions. Exactly what he needed. The bell above the door chimed as he walked in. May, a seasoned waitress with sharp eyes and a soft heart, gave him a look she'd given to many before. "You want coffee, hon?" she asked, already reaching for the pot. "Yes, please," Corey said, sliding into a corner booth. When she left him alone, he pulled out his phone and dialed a number he hadn't used in years. "Melinda's investigations," This is Toby. It's Corey. Corey Keith. Doc. A beat. Wow. I haven't heard from you since that conference in Chicago. What? 5 years ago? No time for small talk, Corey said, his voice low, controlled. I need your help. Discretion is critical. Toby's tone shifted instantly, years of experience kicking in. You got it. What's going on? Corey took a burning sip of coffee. I need surveillance on my house, specifically the basement. What kind of surveillance? My son's football coach, Marco Guerra, started running fitness classes there about 6 months ago. My wife, Abigail, used to be a fitness instructor. It seemed harmless. But now, I need to know everything. Guerra, that the new coach at Metropolitan High. Yeah, just started this semester. Got it. Toby was already typing. What are we looking for? Anyone who comes and goes. How long they stay. And I want background checks, Guerra, the whole coaching staff. My son, he said some things last night. Things I can't ignore. There was a pause on the line. Jesus, Corey. I need you to be thorough. I need to know who I'm dealing with. You still have that old security system? Abigail had it shut down when the classes started. But I installed a backup after that break-in last year. She doesn't know about it. Access code still 1997? Yeah. Same as our old dorm room, Corey said with a bitter half-smile. The classes are scheduled Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But there's been irregular traffic. Cars I don't recognize during my shifts. I'll send my best team, Toby assured him. We'll get the full picture. After hanging up, Corey ordered breakfast he had no intention of eating. May returned with eggs and toast and topped off his coffee. It ain't worth missing meals over. Corey Keith pushed his cold eggs aside and checked his phone. A message from Abigail. Missed you this morning. Hope the shift wasn't too rough. Love you. He stared at the text, thumb hovering above the screen. How many times had she sent messages like that? Warm, caring, deceptively ordinary. How many were written while Guerra was downstairs? While their son played video games upstairs, clueless? Or maybe not so clueless after all. 2 weeks of surveillance had replaced uncertainty with something far worse. Clarity. Now he sat in Toby Melendez's cramped office, surrounded by a sea of evidence. Photos, documents, time-stamped logs. All arranged with the precision of a medical chart. Corey scanned the desk, each image and note painting a fuller picture of betrayal. It's not just Guerra, Toby said grimly, laying out a new set of photographs. Take a look at these vehicles. All registered to community leaders. Corey leaned in. A black Mercedes. Wayne Arnold. President of the school board, Toby confirmed. Next, an Audi. Don Fitzgerald. I operated on his daughter last year, Corey said, his voice hardening. A Range Rover. Johnny Figueroa. Assistant District Attorney. All married, Toby added. All powerful. All regular guests during these so-called fitness classes. Corey's mind connected the dots, and the picture darkened. Arnold controls the athletic budget. Fitzgerald's firm handles the school's property portfolio. Figueroa's wife chairs the booster club. Toby nodded. They're all tied to the school. And now to your home. He pulled out a thick folder. Guerra's employment history, 3 schools in 5 years. All resignations. No official complaints, but they covered it up, Corey said, voice low. Why? Still digging, Toby said. But here's another piece. He slid over a photo of Lucas's new Audi. Abigail said she bought it with fitness class income, Corey said. Invoice shows it came through Fitzgerald's dealership, Toby replied. Sold well below market value. Corey closed his eyes for a moment. The truth was a scalpel now, slicing through denial. Lucas's sudden leap to starting quarterback, despite average stats. The new car. His unwavering praise for Guerra. It's not just about my wife, Corey said quietly. They're using my son. Toby gave a slow, solemn nod. The perks keep him complicit. Or at least quiet. Corey's phone buzzed again. Hey Dad, Coach says I'm starting Friday. Mom wants to celebrate. You'll be there, right? He didn't respond right away. "They're grooming him," he murmured, "drawing him deeper into whatever this is. They see what they want to see at that age," Toby said gently, "especially when the rewards feel good." Sunlight slanted through the office blinds, casting long lines over the table as Corey gathered the photos and documents. In a few hours, he'd be back in scrubs, steady hands saving lives while his own was quietly unraveling. Another buzz. "Abigail, so proud of our boy. Coach Guerra suggested we invite him for dinner. Is that okay?" Corey read the message 3 times before replying. "Of course. It's Lucas's big moment. Invite whoever you think should be there." Toby raised an eyebrow. "What's your next move?" "Keep watching," Corey said. "Keep digging. Something tells me we're only seeing the surface." He left the office with a quiet resolve. Emergency medicine had taught him to recognize the signs, faint symptoms masking deeper crises. You don't cut until you know exactly where the bleed is coming from. That night, as the trauma center buzzed to life, Corey slipped back into his routine like a man walking a tightrope, clear-headed, focused, professional. But beneath that calm, his mind whirred with connections. Lucas's betrayal, Abigail's double life, the elite figures tied to his basement, and the methodical way it was all orchestrated. In trauma care, timing was everything. Move too early and you risked making things worse. Too late and you lost your patient. He wouldn't make that mistake at home. Meanwhile, Darren Phelps traced the scar down his chest, a pale line etched from clavicle to sternum. A reminder. 18 months ago, a drunk driver nearly killed him. Torn aorta. Emergency surgery. A 5% chance of survival. Dr. Corey Keith had worked 14 straight hours to keep him alive. Now, Darren stood in his law office, staring at the surveillance photos spread across his conference table. He watched as Corey, methodical as ever, arranged the pieces of his unraveling life like a surgeon mapping a complex procedure. "You saved my life," Darren said. "It's time I returned the favor. Walk me through it again." Toby, standing nearby, nodded and began his report. Marco Guerra joins the high school staff 6 months ago, builds trust quickly, suggests training sessions in Corey's basement. Abigail, with her fitness background, gives it legitimacy. "But it wasn't just fitness," Corey added quietly. "No," Toby agreed. "Wayne Arnold, Don Fitzgerald, Johnny Figueroa, all regular visitors, all married, all connected to the school system. This is organized." A knock at the door interrupted them. Jeanette Neff stepped in, still in scrubs from her hospital shift. She'd worked with Corey for 15 years, seen his brilliance in trauma, and the quiet cost it took on his soul. "Sorry I'm late," she said. "Had to finish the schedule adjustments you asked for." "Any issues?" Corey asked. "Nope. I've covered your shifts without raising suspicion." Darren noted the ease between them. Precision. Trust. The same dynamics that kept a trauma team running. "Tell them about the pattern," Toby said, opening a new file. "Guerra's done this before," Corey said. 3 states, 3 schools, all in wealthy neighborhoods. He targets families where one parent is often absent. Frequent travel, long hours. "Like a night shift surgeon," Darren said grimly. "Exactly. He gets close," Corey continued, "builds trust, gains access, and then," he trailed off. "What about Lucas?" Darren asked gently. Corey's jaw tightened. "He thinks I'm weak, thinks I care more about strangers than my own family. But he's benefiting. Better playing time. A car he doesn't understand the real cost of." "The money trail's suspicious," Toby added, spreading financial records across the table. "Large, untraceable transfers. Favors disguised as purchases." "I've heard whispers," Jeanette said, "at hospital events. Other wives making strange investment choices. Many of them attend those fitness classes." Darren frowned, the full weight of it settling in. "This is bigger than an affair. This could be criminal. Coordinated corruption." "That's why I need help," Corey said. "Not just to prove what Abigail's done. I need to know what this really is. We have the security footage, Toby reminded. Backup system's been recording since the break-in. She doesn't know about it. Everything's archived, Corey confirmed. Every visit, every lie. Darren stood. All right, here's what we do. Toby, dig deeper. Find out how far Guerra's past goes. Jeanette, keep Corey's shifts covered. Nothing suspicious. I'll start mapping the legal side, what we're up against and how to build a case. And me? Corey asked. You keep doing what you do, Darren said, placing a hand over his chest scar. Save lives. Stay calm. Let us handle the investigation. Corey's phone buzzed again. Another message from Abigail. Planning something special for Lucas next Friday. Coach Guerra has amazing news. Can you get off early? Perfect timing. They're setting the table, Darren murmured, eyes on the wall of timelines and photos. So we'll set ours. In the hospital chapel, stained glass cast fractured rainbows across the walls, light dancing across Toby's projector screen. It was 3 a.m., perfect privacy. No visitors, no cameras, no distractions, just truth. You need to see this, Toby said, pulling up the first file from the basement's hidden camera. The footage flickered into view. Guerra and Fitzgerald, casually confident in the Keith's basement, unaware of the lens watching them. These wives think they're being clever, Guerra scoffed, sneaking around while their husbands grind away on night shifts. They don't see the bigger play. And Abigail? Fitzgerald asked. She's managing Keith, Guerra laughed. Plays the part of the sweet trainer. Meanwhile, everything's falling into place. Next clip. Wayne Arnold addressing a small, all-male group like a general briefing his lieutenants. Once the rezoning request passes, he said, Fitzgerald's firm moves forward with the developments. Investors, their wives are well distracted. File after file showed the same pattern. Plans spun from charm, ego, and stolen trust, all unfolding a few feet below where Corey Keith saved lives upstairs. Then came the worst. Abigail alone with Guerra. The video dated 2 weeks ago. Corey's investment account, she said. The college fund for Lucas. It's substantial. Perfect, Guerra replied without hesitation. He'll never miss it. Doctors like him make too much anyway. I don't know, she wavered. He worked so hard for that money. Your husband? Guerra said, voice slick with contempt. Will never be more than he is. A night shift surgeon who cares more about strangers than his own family. But you could be part of something real. And Lucas? We set him up for life. Toby paused the playback. You want to see the rest? Corey's voice was calm. All of it. I need to understand everything. For the next hour, they watched the full extent of the scheme. Faked development proposals, school board votes rigged through manipulation, the targeting of busy families, the careful seduction of influence and loyalty. And Lucas's big moment, team captain announcement, scheduled the same day as the rezoning vote. The same day the college fund was set to be reinvested. They want the transfers processed during the celebration dinner, Toby said, shutting his laptop. It's all timed. Corey's phone buzzed. The ER needed him. How do you stay focused? Toby asked. Corey stood, steady as always. Because every life I save matters, even when mine is coming apart. Darren's office had become their war room. Evidence lined the walls. Property maps, surveillance stills, financial records, interwoven with the precision of a trauma team's charting board. Tomorrow, Darren said, tapping the calendar. Arnold pushes through the rezoning vote, which unlocks the investment transfers, Toby added. Several families, one funnel. Nurse Jeanette looked up from her phone. Corey just finished surgery. He'll be here in 10. And when he arrived, still in scrubs, bloodless but wired with purpose, he stepped to the wall and scanned the latest updates. Catch me up. Darren nodded. Guerra's MO is consistent. Finds high-income communities. Positions himself at the local school. Gets close to lonely spouses. The affairs give him leverage, Toby said, while the real game runs through rezoning and fake development plans. And my basement? Corey asked. The hub, Darren said. They assumed it was unmonitored. But your cameras got everything. And the dinner? Toby added. After the rezoning. Same day as Lucas's captain announcement. That's when the final transfers go through. Corey took it in like reading a patient chart mid-crisis. Thorough. Focused. Thanks for listening. This story isn't over yet, and things are about to get even more intense. Stay tuned for the next part to see what happens next.